Kaya's secret. As the sun began to set over the small village nestled in the mountains, a young girl named Kaya sat at the edge of a rushing river, lost in thought. She was a curious and adventurous spirit, always eager to explore the world around her. Kaya had always felt drawn to the forest, with its towering trees and hidden secrets. One day, as she was wandering through the trees, Kaya came upon an old, overgrown path that she had never noticed before. The path was nearly obscured by vines and underbrush, but Kaya could sense a sense of excitement and mystery emanating from it. Without hesitation, she pushed aside the foliage and set off down the path. As she walked, the trees grew taller and the air grew cooler. Kaya couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched, but she couldn't see anyone or anything around her. She quickened her pace, her heart beating faster in her chest. After what felt like hours of walking, the path opened up into a clearing, and Kaya gasped in amazement. Before her lay a beautiful, hidden garden, unlike anything she had ever seen. It was filled with all sorts of exotic plants and flowers, their petals and leaves glowing in the fading light of the sun. Kaya felt a sense of peace wash over her as she gazed at the serene scene before her. As she explored the garden, Kaya heard a soft humming sound. She followed the sound to a small pond, where she saw a group of fairies playing and laughing. Kaya had always been told that fairies were just a myth, but here they were, right in front of her. She watched in amazement as the fairies danced and flew through the air, leaving sparkling trails behind them. One of the fairies, a gentle and kind-hearted creature named Yui, noticed Kaya and flew over to her. Yui welcomed Kaya to the garden and introduced her to the other fairies. Kaya was overjoyed to make new friends and spend hours playing and laughing with the fairies. As the night began to fall, Yui took Kaya aside for a private conversation. "Kaya, I have something to tell you," Yui said, her voice serious. "There is a secret connection between you and this garden. Your ancestors were the ones who created it, many years ago." Kaya was stunned. "My ancestors created this place? How is that possible?" Yui nodded. "Yes, they were a group of powerful sorcerers who used their magic to bring this garden into existence. They wanted to create a place of beauty and tranquility, a place where all could find peace and happiness. And they succeeded! This garden has been a haven for the fairies and other magical creatures for generations." Kaya couldn't believe what she was hearing. She had always felt a special connection to the forest, but she had never imagined that her own ancestors were responsible for such a beautiful and magical place. "Thank you for telling me this, Yui," Kaya said, tears of joy welling up in her eyes. "I will always treasure this memory and do my best to protect and preserve this place." Yui smiled and squeezed Kaya's hand. "I know you will. And who knows, maybe one day you will even discover your own magical powers." As the night began to fall, Yui told Kaya that it was time for her to return home. Kaya reluctantly said goodbye to her new friends and followed Yui back to the old, overgrown path. As Kaya walked through the forest, she couldn't stop thinking about the magical garden and the wonderful fairies she had met. She knew that she would always treasure the memories of her adventure and the revelation about her ancestors' connection to the garden. Kaya made a vow to herself to visit the garden as often as she could and to do everything in her power to protect and preserve it. As she emerged from the woods and the village came into view, Kaya felt a sense of peace and contentment wash over her. She knew that she had discovered something truly special and that she would always cherish the memory of her magical encounter. As Kaya made her way home, she couldn't wait to share her story with her family and friends. She knew that they would never believe her, but that didn't matter. Kaya had experienced something truly magical and that was all that mattered to her.